You're electric today.
I know, I got shocked by your electricity.
Literally.
It's
offensive. Welcome everyone to the
Jenna Julien Podcast.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Today's podcast is brought to you by NatureBox, with over 100 awesome, really great and guilt-free snacks shipped right to your door. NatureBox gives you the option to get some of the greatest tasting snacks you can get, let alone have shipped to your house without you having to get off your butt.
The best part about snacks is when you don't have to go and get them.
No one wants to get up to get your snacks.
You want the snacks to appear.
Yeah. There's a snack in NatureBox called mini Belgian waffles. I think that's all I have to say.
What? Did you eat all those? Because I've never gotten to eat any of those.
No. We have to order
this is
more.
Bullshit. I want some
NatureBox, we need to get some more snacks.
Mini Belgian waffles.
We'll talk to you guys more about NatureBox. But they sponsored our podcast, so thank you guys. You can get the free trial at naturebox.com/Jenna Julien.
Sick. Awesome.
Anything around food, like you all can always sponsor the podcast because I love food.
Because we're so hungry for all the snacks.
So hungry. I
don't want to go get snacks. I want snacks to appear on my chest while I'm laying down watching Netflix.
In the dark. I want the snacks to just appear. And then you don't even have to look at them.
Right. You just
and you don't have to look at anything. I mean, you can look at the label, though, because NatureBox is great for you. It's natural, guilt-free, no high fructose corn syrup, no crap in it.
Many of them are gluten-free for our celiac friends like Jillian.
That is true. I would not be telling you guys to get a product that I couldn't eat myself. So thank you, NatureBox.
Hey, guys, try these actual waffles that I can't eat. They're delicious.
Yeah, no thank you.
No.
No gluten or no deal.
So anyways, on today's podcast, we asked you on our Twitter what you wanted us to talk about. And like one of the most requested topics was this Rachel Dolezal, who was the head. Is it the head? Is that the name? The president of
chairman, maybe?
Chairman NAACP.
NAACP.
Sorry for all the caffeinated words right now.
In
Spokane. And it was revealed that she was actually not a black woman and that she had been pretending to be a black woman. So hopefully you all know what we're talking about.
Yeah, and it gets really Twitter, confusing. The story's
all over
very
everything.
Odd. Yeah. So, I mean, apparently she was pretending to be African American, but continues to identify as black.
I guess so.
Which I guess is like how she... she feels like she's in the grouping of black people. She likes to identify with who they are, what they go through, but technically she can't just identify as African American. That's what I've read. Like,
right.
She's identifying as black, but even though she's outed as not African American, she still identifies black.
And I think that people's opinions on Twitter, for the most of this stuff I've gotten from Twitter and articles and different things from Twitter. It seems like the general consensus is that people are angry at her and they're offended, or this is hysterical to
Which
them.
Has been hilarious.
Or a mixture of both.
Well, there's been a really funny reaction on the internet.
Well, the internet really took it and ran with it.
They're not letting go. It's really funny.
I mean, it really is. It's kind of like a bunch of whatever way you want to unpack it. As a person, I'm a Caucasian woman. You're a Caucasian man. You can't really speak to the fact I do understand why people are offended by this.
Yeah,
because she is literally parading around in blackface because she can. And she was able to get away with it. I think some of the more funny tweets have been black people being like, oh, I'm a white American male today. Like, I would love to have some good credit and be great at swimming. Like, the people have really fucking pointed out the uncomfortable truth, which is you can't really just say I'm a different race now and I would like everything that goes along with that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can understand the anger. I'm not angry, but I can understand very clearly why someone would be angry of any race.
Right.
It's a weird thing, and it's not something that you're not affecting other people by doing. It's not something that you're just doing because you want to do. This has an effect, especially when you have a position of power in any sort of organization. You're setting an example for people, so when you make decisions like that, there's going to be a wave.
Right. And I'm like, I don't really know where to start with this topic other than my first exposure to it So my first exposure to it was watching that interview where the guy had originally asked her if she was African American, and she, walked away. I don't know if you've seen that, but you should watch it. It's good. What I had a problem with more was that she was describing these hate crimes against herself, and he was sort of poking holes in the idea that, they were from Oakland, California, but they weren't postmarked, like they hadn't gone through the mail, and that the only way that someone could have put these like hate letters into this P.O. box or whatever was if they had a key. And she's giving this very elaborate and like well-spoken answer as to why she wouldn't do that, as to why that's ridiculous. And, for her kids' sake, like no one would ever make that up or do that. That's insane. And just that in and of itself is really ridiculous.
It's wild.
Like, you're being called out for mailing in quotations, hate letters to yourself. Like, she wanted this attention. She wanted
she wanted the proof to exist that she was dealing with the same thing that other African American people deal with.
Right. And I was reading about her background, that she had gone to Howard, I think, at one point, and somewhere where, I don't know where she got her master's. I think it might have been Howard. And she was feeling like, obviously this woman, it was African American studies or something. She was studying a lot of that stuff, and that's what she has made her life's work. And it's depressing that you don't have to be an African American person in order to work and do good
and fight for the cause.
Right.
Yeah.
And she still chose to.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was getting somewhere. I just fucking lost my train of thought.
I feel like I was doing that too. It's a very weird thing, and honestly, like, you got to wonder, like, when she made the decision to completely, like, turn into a different race.
Right.
Like,
she had apparently told
life.
her adoptive brother to, quote, not blow her cover.
Yeah. I mean, what do you say if you're him? You're like, what?
Well, I would slap a bitch and be like, listen, stop it. I guess what I was trying to get to is that what's more problematic than her pretending to be another race, although that's very problematic, is the like level of what she's lying about and how she's lying about it and how far down the rabbit hole that goes.
Yeah.
Because regardless of whether or not you're posing as someone in a different race or pretending to be something that you're not, it's generally frowned upon to live your life day by day. You wake up and you end every single day doing nothing but telling lies.
Yeah.
And what's frustrating is that she, obviously does really good work. She fucking cares about police brutality and things that fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like, doing work every single day to make this go away or be less of a problem in this country.
Yeah.
And it's being overshadowed by the fact that she was doing blackface.
Well, I mean,
every day.
all the while.
Stop doing that. You don't need to do that.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, all the while of her doing great work and fighting for the cause or whatever you want to call it.
And that's just what I've read, that she does great work.
Well, whatever. Like,
I don't think anyone was like...
She works for an organization.
Yeah, dude, she sucked.
Well, yeah, and it's not like...
No one
it's
has
coming,
said that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not coming out like that now. But the point is like, yes, she identifies and she's trying to be a leader and help change happen, affect change in the world. But every single day that she went into work and did maybe great work, she's being selfish.
Right.
And so it's very, like, counterintuitive to, like, you can't just be someone else. It doesn't work like that. You can't just choose, like, today I'm going to dress, it's offensive and it's not right and it's incorrect and it directly conflicts with the message you're sending with everything else you do. So she has to at one point, or she's just nuts, but she has to at one point have thought, like, I believe in what I'm doing. I believe in all the things that I'm trying to fight for, but am I being a little stupid and selfish by completely counteracting everything I'm doing
and
with who I'm being?
The way that a lot of people had framed it on Twitter is that, if she had not posed as an African-American woman, that job may have been given to someone other than her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There was a story that came, like, she was trying to apply for some school or something.
Howard. It was Howard.
And she got rejected because she wasn't...
I read the word sue, but I don't know if she actually tried to sue them because she felt like they were discriminating against her for being white and not black. Yeah. And I understand, although not really. I don't want to say I understand. I'm going to take, anytime you hear me say I understand, I mean, take that with a grain of salt, because
we're trying to be understanding. We're not identifying with someone like this. We're
right.
just, who identifies with a different race.
I can't even make words. The article that I was reading theorized that perhaps because she was so immersed in the culture and she was so passionate about what she was studying and what she was doing, that she developed some sort of self-hatred for being a white woman. Mm-hmm. And that she felt the only way that people would take her words seriously and stop being angry at her for being a white woman and as opposed to a black woman is to not be a white woman anymore.
I would say that's probably the most logical.
It's an interesting theory, but that also doesn't explain why she would lie about hate crimes or who her father is and things like that. Like, that's why I'm sort of on the fence as to whether or not I think she's, doing something because she thinks she's being helpful in some sort of scenario. I think that she's fucking crazy.
She has an idea, okay? And she thinks, first of all, like you just said, the self-hatred thing, I can kind of grasp that. Where she feels like, if I'm going to be representing all these African-American people and they have so many problems with the way certain Caucasian or white people act, I can't be that. Like, I hate that. I want to fight for them against that. Right. Or whatever. So I get that. But, like...
maybe she thought it would give her some sort of more legitimacy if she didn't appear completely Caucasian.
Yeah, no, I get that.
If she appeared to be mixed or have some level of understanding. But she doesn't.
Well, and as much as I can get anything in this situation, that's something I can sort of wrap my head around. What I don't... like, and what I think happened is, like, she has this, right? She chooses to, act black, and then it slowly just kind of tumbles out of control.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's so far into it that she's like, oh, now I'm going to create this whole past. Now I'm going to send myself hate mail. Like, all this stuff where it's like, okay, you were doing one thing questionable, very questionable, and now you're doing thousands of questionable things to back this questionable lie that you created in the first place. Right. And now you're going to get outed, of course. You can't just, like, get away with that. So it's very weird. And I think...
and her parents outed her.
Yeah.
Which I think is important to note.
Yeah.
And that it's like, you lied so fucking hard that you leave your family no choice but to be like, don't listen to her. We're the only ones that can tell you for sure. Stop listening to her. Although, is she on record anywhere as actually claiming? I know that in one article that I read, she had claimed to be, quote, more mixed than cake batter. Which obviously is not true.
Wow. That's a quote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a quote and a half.
But no, I mean, I
don't think she's ever. I've never heard or read that she says I am black. I've never seen that, but maybe it's there. I don't know. Who knows?
It's frustrating, and she didn't have to lie, and she chose to lie, which is what.
Well, now she's the laughing stock of the internet.
Well, yes, the internet is laughing at her right now.
A little bit deserves it. I mean, come on. I mean,
well, what I want to talk about right now is the discussion that's going on with Caitlyn Jenner and the transgender community, having a big surge in positivity. People now using the word transracial to describe, or transracial to describe what's going on.
Yeah.
And why it's not quite the same thing. And... yeah. Whether or not you agree or disagree or what your thoughts are on that, I'd love to see in the comments, because I personally would like to take the stance that I don't think that transracial is the same thing as transgender.
I don't think it's even in the same ballpark, in the ballpark being real. That's the name of the ballpark. That's where transgender exists.
I read someone's... I have a bunch of screenshotted tweets I want to read later, but that someone had said on Twitter, white people are making up words to, cover up the fact that they're doing fucked up shit. Now you're saying transracial is a thing. It's not.
To put the word trans in front of anything in this situation is a little bit, like, fucking offensive.
It's kind of like, really?
It's like, yeah.
Really? Transracial, that's what we're going with.
Transracial. I'm trying to be careful on how I talk about this whole situation, just because it's so fucking weird.
Obviously,
I hate that shit. I hate how it's like someone does something so fucking weird and fucked up, and now everyone's like, what? Like, how do I talk about it? What do I say? Or how can I be mad?
It is difficult whenever you're voicing your opinion about something that there is specific language and diction that you want to be sensitive to and also be aware of. But like I said in the beginning, like I can't be angry at her for pretending to be black, because I'm a white woman, and regardless of whether or not I would like to have it, there is such a thing as white privilege. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there is a privilege to being a white woman.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And what people were saying as to why they were offended is because this white woman has the privilege to choose to pretend to be black and then make a career out of that.
That's the most offensive part.
Right.
Yeah. I would agree.
And privilege is like something that we like to pretend that doesn't exist. It fucking exists all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
white
you're
privilege
right.
is fucking real.
It's real, no matter what you want to think, it exists.
Right. And by not talking about it is just as bad as denying that it's a thing.
Yeah.
So it is a little bit difficult, though, to sit here and pretend to do more or think more than, like, you know what, man, I had a real good fucking laugh on Twitter. And I think that this woman is fucking crazy. And I think that she's doing a giant disservice to herself and to everyone around her by lying and taking jobs away from people or hurting people. And the mailing yourself hate crimes is not doing anyone any favors ever.
Yeah. It reminds me, I don't know who it was. I'm not going to, I want to say Tito Ortiz, but I don't think it might not have been him. But there was a fighter who was struggling with his popularity, and he's kind of over the hill, and he created Twitter accounts to send tweets to himself of like fan.
Are you sure
tweets.
That wasn't Tito Ortiz? I think it's Tito Ortiz.
I think it's Tito Ortiz. I just didn't want to like say it was and then not be positive because I haven't double checked.
I think it's Tito Ortiz.
Yeah, he created a fan account, was tweeting stuff at himself like, "Oh, you're the best fighter ever, I love you." And then one time he forgot to log out of his account when he was tweeting it, and he sent fan mail like out as Tito Ortiz, and he got outed or whatever. He got caught, and it just reminds me of that. It's just like a very pathetic way of accomplishing a goal that you're trying to reach. For Tito, it was fame, and it was more popularity at his old age and in his past prime in his career, whatever. And for Rachel, it's to become black and deal with the hardships and the hate and the whatever you want to call it that she tried to create and manufacture for her fake black self. Okay, so we can make it a little lighter. You screen capped a bunch of tweets that you thought were funny. And,
I did.
And we also wanted to do something else in this podcast. So tomorrow, she's doing an interview. She's finally going to break her silence and do an interview with whoever, fucking NBC, whatever. And they're going to sit down and have an interview. So I thought it would be funny if we tried to act it out and simulate how we thought it would go. So I would be the interviewer. And you would be Rachel Dolezal, and we can...
Dolezal, yeah.
Is it Dolezal or Dolezal?
I don't really know.
Whatever. I don't care if I mispronounce it.
I'm just, like, to wrap up our actual, like, talk about this, I want to read some of these tweets because they made me laugh.
Yeah.
But I think that most of people are, like, angry, a little offended, and, like... But you don't gotta lie about anything.
Yeah.
Just be yourself.
Just no need.
Please be yourself.
Yeah.
And that is true across the board.
There is zero wrong with wanting to be a part of a team or affect change on some team or group of people's behalf while being who you are.
Right.
It doesn't matter who you are.
Right.
What matters is what you are doing and what you believe in, what you wake up every day and put your time towards. And for her, it was fighting for African American rights and fighting injustice in the entire world. And she felt that she couldn't do that as a white woman or whatever. But I'm just saying, like, it's never about that. It's about what you stand up and do. And at the end of the day, that's what people remember.
Right. And all this stuff, like, about her weave and her hair and all that, the spray tan, like, that stuff's funny to me. But what's more hurtful is when someone lies about who their father is to make us think something else about you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, girl, if you want to do your hair like that, go for it. Like, I don't give a fuck. But don't tell me that this is your father and that you're half black when you're lying. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you ever known a person like that? Those people are crazy.
Yeah, well, they're a little bit nuts to be okay in their own mind with that behavior.
Right. That's why I'm interested to see tomorrow with all the interviews.
Yeah.
What exactly is your explanation for this? And someone was like, could just be like a really long, extensive performance art that she just pulled off for everyone. Who knows? Maybe she has some elaborate answer.
Serious question. Do you think she's going to go to the interview dressed black? Like, I mean, does she not identify ever as white anymore? Like, how does that work?
But that's the thing. I haven't heard her identify herself.
So if you were
as
to
anything.
put money on it, what is she going to look like when she shows up in the interview tomorrow?
I would think that she would look how she's been looking.
Me too.
For the past few years.
Me too.
I think that maybe she would apologize for hurting anyone by lying. I think she's going to apologize for lying.
Yeah.
And I think that she's going to try and deflect away from the fact of her external appearance. Yeah. You know, that we're supposed to be judged by the quality of our character, not by the color of our skin.
Yeah.
If she's going to go that route. Yeah. Honestly, that's my money's on that quote.
Yeah.
And I think that she's going to just really try and damage control, and that it's not about her appearance or her past, it's about what she spends her time doing, which I don't disagree with.
Yeah.
But I disagree with her lies.
But she has some explaining to do.
And the fact that she's, hurt a lot of people that see this as the ultimate white privilege happening right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I think she's going to have to get up there. And if she comes out and she's just like, I did this because this, and just like defensive, she's going to get torn apart in the interview.
Right. Yeah,
you know what I mean? She can't just, she's got to accept some sort of blame and,
take some responsibility.
Yeah. And I know nothing about the woman. I know nothing about her other than this whole fiasco, this whole news story. I don't know anything about her. I know what she does, but I've never heard her speak. I've never read her whatever. You know what I mean? So I don't know what kind of person she is. She may do something completely different than I'm expecting, but I do know that she's got quite a hole to dig herself out of tomorrow when she gets on air.
She does. But hopefully we'll get some new memes.
Well, yeah, more than we've already got, yeah. Right before we get to these tweets, a little word about NatureBox. So we've obviously, if you guys have seen the podcast with Shane, that was sponsored by NatureBox too. NatureBox is one of the best ways to get snacks and also not deviate from whatever fitness health plan you're trying to stay on. It's very difficult when you get hungry and you don't want to just like eat chicken and spinach all the time. They have really healthy snacks. There's no additives. There's no high fructose corn syrup. There's only natural ingredients. And you can read, there's like, only a handful of ingredients in each of their snacks. Some of their snacks are like literally some of the best things ever. It's like these guacamole bites that we had last time.
What are the things? Are they called like blueberry nom noms? Or something like that?
Well, so the nom noms are like they're like basically like natural cookies without any of the shit that you find in like real cookies. It's so good. It's like granola-y. It's chewy. It's fresh,
fruity.
And that's another thing. They come sealed up in that box, really fresh to your door, right to your door. Over 100 snacks right to your door. What you do is, if you sign up for NatureBox, you go online. You get to pick. They have a whole beautiful catalog of all their lovely looking snacks. They have sweet, salty, everything you want. And you pick, and then it gets delivered to your door.
And then you snack your face off.
You snack your face off. NatureBox is seriously great.
Keep your metabolism going.
Absolutely. You guys need some snacks.
With some NatureBox.
Especially, for those of you who travel a lot or on the go for work all day, it's a great option because they come in these sealed packages. It's great stuff. If you guys want to start a free trial, no money needed, you just log on to naturebox.com/Jenna Julien and you get your free trial. And if you like it, what the free trial is a combination of one of handful of the most popular snacks at NatureBox. And what they do is they send it to you, tell us how you like it, try it, eat it, eat all of it in one sitting if you want. And if you like it, then you can get your subscription. But naturebox.com/Jenna Julien. So check that out, and thank you, NatureBox, for sponsoring us.
Thank you, NatureBox. All right, let's get to some of these tweets. Now, mind you, none of these tweets are my own. I stole them all from Twitter. So, just
they're
so
all
that
mine.
we can... They're all... Just kidding. They're all Julian's.
No, they're not.
All right. A limerick. There once was a black woman named Rachel. No, there wasn't. I'm probably most angry at the fact Rachel Dolezal stole Brenda's braids from Scary Movie. There's a picture of that.
Oh, my God. That's really funny, yeah.
So is Rachel Dolezal white and gold or blue and black?
I saw that one too. That one's good.
Most important thing I've learned from Rachel Dolezal being exposed as a fraud: dudes have no idea how much can be done with product. This is very true, though. Yeah. This is very true.
Really quick, though, like her weaves.
Yeah.
So, like the one where it's like up
all the braids,
in like an ice cream cone thing.
All the braids, yeah.
Dude, that's like
intense.
A lot of work.
She really sat there and she got all those braids. She committed.
She was all in.
She committed. I declare February 29th as Rachel Dolezal Day because it's generally not a part of Black History Month, but every 4 years it pretends to be. Her own mama outed her. Her own mama. That is the blackest thing that ever happened to her. Obviously, Emma Stone has to play Rachel Dolezal in the inevitable film about this mess. In reference to that movie Aloha.
Yeah.
Iggy Azalea ran so Rachel Dolezal could fly. Okay, time out. While we're on the topic of Iggy Azalea, do you remember when Azalea Banks tweeted at her?
Igloo Australia.
That's when she said Igloo Australia.
Yeah.
But she said it was around the Baltimore riots or earlier than that?
It was way before that, yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember. But she said, I love how Igloo Australia is being really silent about all this. Black culture is fun, but black issues aren't. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Igloo Australia.
Accusing Iggy Azalea of being...
But Rachel is very passionate about black issues and black culture. It's just, it's fucking my brain a little to think about. Black culture is fun for Rachel. And she takes black issues very seriously.
It's like if Iggy Azalea did the groundwork that Dolezal has done, then she wouldn't have gotten called out by Azalea Banks, because she does stand for the issues, not just the culture.
Like, my mind hurts. My mind hurts.
My mind hurts. That's what we should call this podcast.
My mind hurts. Okay, anyways.
Wait, what's the one that Tiffany's one?
What Tiffany's one?
At Tiffany's? I
don't know what you're talking about.
Breakfast at Tiffany's?
I don't know, but I'm going to get to it probably. I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, okay.
Holy fudge, I just saw a tweet referring to Rachel Dolezal as #blackfish. I'm done. Like, she blackfished everyone. Like catfish.
Got it.
And then also there was a trending hashtag on Twitter called #AskRachel to try and figure out which race she was. Mary J. Blige didn't need any hateration or holleration in this what? A, dancery. B, dance soiree. C, both A and B.
My God.
You get that?
Yeah, I do.
Here. What should be wiped down? A, shoulders. B, chest. C, pants. D, shoes. E, all of the above.
Oh my God, like, what would you do if you're black?
Right, exactly. Okay. These are some of the more serious ones. Rachel Dolezal did more than lie about being black. She faked hate crimes against herself, making it harder for real victims to be believed, which is very true and awful. If I identify as white when
hold on really quick. So for a moment in time, she thought her story and her story having credibility was more important than actual people having actual issues.
Maybe.
Because that's what she did. She gave more credibility to her.
Selfish.
Should it ever be outed, she would then take away credibility from all those who actually have these real situations happening to them. Just think about that for a second.
That's why I think she's on some next level drinking her own Kool-Aid. Yeah. If I identify as white, when do I receive my privilege? 3 to 5 days? Express shipping? I need to know. #transracial.
That's it. That was a #transracial.
Well, yeah.
Jeez.
My problem with transracial. Black folk can't decide to be white when the cops raid their pool party, but a white woman can be NAACP president. So if I say I'm transracial and call myself white, do you think employers will finally call me back? Honestly, anyone with this transracial shit is just ridiculing the struggle that transgender people go through. It's a shame transracial wasn't a thing during slavery.
Oh my God.
How's that for fucking some real talk, though?
Jesus Christ.
Transracial isn't a real thing, and it's degrading to trans people who seriously struggle and fight to be themselves and be accepted. Please stop. Then back to this fucking... oh my God.
The quizzes.
Okay, but anyways, I mean... I'm still reading some of these. The bottom line is that Rachel Dolezal did not have to appropriate black identity in order to support the black community, which I think is most people's issue.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a weird fucking podcast. This is a weird situation, guys.
It's weird for everyone.
Weird
That's
as
why I
shit.
feel like most of the things that are happening on Twitter is like, all we can really do right now is just make some jokes and, you know, point out the obvious, which is
really
like, what the
fucking
fuck?
weird, man.
What the actual fuck is happening? From where I sit, Rachel Dolezal ran a long con to get to a place where she could have higher status in a community that she fetishizes.
Oh, fetishizes. That's intense.
That's a powerful word
That's
right
a powerful
there, though.
word.
Isn't it?
Because it it rings a little weirdly true. Like, that's the kind of
She's
what
kind
she's
of
doing.
obsessed.
She's obsessed
with
being
a
black.
community
Yeah.
that she fetishizes,
Yeah.
so she wants some status within that community by not being herself.
That's powerful.
Bingo bango. Just a friendly reminder that a black person passing as a white person was once a criminal offense. Enjoy your day. I just keep thinking about Rachel Dolezal in the braiding shop getting her hair done. Dedication.
She didn't go to a braiding shop. She had someone come do that.
Her Instagram name is Afrocentric Femme.
No, it's
She
not.
was in this for the long haul.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it was. That came out like immediately.
Oh my god. That's fucking terrible.
All these pictures of her look like she Googled, what do black people wear? And just did that. Oh my god. If Rachel Dolezal can do it, so can I. I am now a white American. Give me good credit, the ability to swim,
Yeah, these
and
are starting
police
to be
not
like-
beating
yeah.
me. It's a quiz. What is this item? Remote, clicker, remote control. So, I mean, yeah, this is a bizarre thing that I don't think that, you know, we've dealt with
Ever.
as a American culture population of people. We haven't really had a person do this on this scale. I think that we're all kind of scrambling to make sense of it. I think we all want to know why.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
And I hope that she does make right with some people that she probably very seriously offended and hurt as a result of her choices
Yeah.
and selfishness. Because I think this really does boil down to her being very selfish and that there's no need. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no need
need.
to masquerade as something that you're not because
No.
you want to be, I don't know, taken seriously or whatever
I mean,
she was
she's
looking
obviously
for.
some degree of fucked up.
That's what I think. I
But-
really, really, really
But
think
at the end
that
of the
she
day, it's
needs
very
to
important to know
sit down
that.
and talk to somebody.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Oh, like 5 people. But at the end of the day, it's important to know that whatever you do, whatever you spend your time doing, is what people will think of you as.
Right.
It's what you do, not
she
what you
resigned.
say, not what you. I know.
She stepped down.
I know. Yeah.
Which, you know, I can't say whether I think that's right or wrong or whatever. I think that she needs to take some time to herself.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
you know.
All right. So she sits down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're the guest.
I'm Rachel.
Yeah, you're Rachel.
Hey, guys, I'm Rachel.
And I'll just be the host.
Are we really role playing though? Like
No, it's not
all
gonna be
you,
serious.
Okay,
It's
you
not gonna be
tell
serious.
yeah, you tell me what questions you think they're gonna ask, and I'll tell you how I think she's gonna answer.
So Rachel, who do you think you are?
Wait,
No,
do
you
you
gotta
mean
answer.
do you mean that as like a offensive way?
Just, as
like who the
however you
fuck
wanna
do you
take
think
it.
you are, or
Yeah.
like
Who do you think you are?
I think that she would respond. I think she's gonna hide behind what she does for a living and what she spent her life studying and doing. I don't think that she's gonna off the bat just say anything about
Okay.
race.
Where?
It's convenient for her to hold off on that for as long as possible.
Where do you get off?
You really think that's gonna be the next
I'm sorry,
question?
I had to ask those two questions. That's an Office reference, but no, seriously, it's like where do you get off?
Seriously.
Where do you get off? Okay, how long did you think this was going to go undetected? Forever?
See, I think in her heart of hearts, she kind of wanted to get caught. She kind of wanted the attention. I think that she wants to be more important than she is. I think she wants people to notice her. But that's like deep down repressed. Like you don't want anyone to know, but it's almost like a cry for help.
Yes.
That you're doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that all of the mailing herself hate crimes and drawing attention to herself fulfills some like deep need for recognition.
Yeah.
So I think that she, on the surface, would say, you know, no one would have ever figured it out if you guys weren't, you know, digging into my past for no reason because it's not your business.
Yeah.
But I think in her heart of hearts, she genuinely wanted to come clean. I think she was hiding behind a masquerade that she literally could not keep up with anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And why, instead of one day when you like fucking just take a shower and look like yourself and take your hair out, you say, hey guys, this is really uncomfortable for me. I'm actually a white woman and I feel like I've been fooling you. It was easier for her to do it by having someone else do it for her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? By having someone else be like, hey, you're not who you say you are. And now you got caught. Because then she never has to be the one that admits, like, it's I don't know how else to say this.
Yeah.
Like, it's harder for her to just come out one day and be like, hey guys, I'm not who I said I was. It's easier for her to get caught. You know what I mean? But I think that she did want to have it off of her shoulders at some point.
Yeah. What is it like to have it off of your shoulders? You don't have to be Rachel. I feel bad asking you to be Rachel.
Yeah, no, I'm just ask.
No, you're just like speaking.
No,
what you
ask
think.
me what questions you think she's going to be asked.
Well, okay. So aside from being in the public eye and having everyone question you and your actions, do you feel a sense of relief that you don't have to keep this up anymore?
Yeah, I think she feels relieved, honestly.
Do you intend on continuing to work for African American rights?
Yeah, she'll always do that.
Okay.
She went to school for that. That's her life's work. You know.
But she did step down from her dream job, right? I mean, so.
Who knows if that's her dream job? We don't know what she wants to do.
What's your dream job?
Okay, I can't answer that, Julie. I think that she'll continue doing what she set out to do. She'll just feel more comfortable doing it as who she is and not who she thinks would be a better person to do
Here's
that.
a message. Here's a question I think she's definitely going to be asked.
What?
What is your message to the African American population out there?
I think she might apologize, honestly. She owes some apologies because people are angry and offended, you know?
Do you think that you could potentially, in the future, continue to physically manifest as a black person and not piss people off? Do you think that's a possibility?
I don't understand.
Like that,
are you asking me?
Yeah, like I'm asking Rachel.
Okay.
I'm saying, do you think, I know you're saying you're sorry, and I know you got caught, but do you think that this is going to be okay to do in the future? Not to pretend, but to just like act as a black person now.
I'm
so
confused.
should Rachel get up in the morning and continue to identify as black?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that she ever said that she identifies as black. I think what she's doing with her spray tan and her hair and her style choices.
The physical manifestation.
I honestly think that she might defend herself and say that wasn't her trying to be a different race.
It was just how she was comfortable.
I think she would defend herself and say how I wear my hair or the fact that I choose to make my skin darker isn't meant to be offensive. What was offensive was the lying. Although in a package deal, it's all offensive.
You're coming off very coherent right now. I feel like she's not going to come off nearly this well, but...
Well, I think that she will defend her physical appearance
as who she is.
Yeah.
Not calling it anything.
Right. Because I've never heard her say,
no, you're right.
I'm an African American woman.
It's assuming to say something, but I mean, obviously it's pretty out there.
She did claim to be mixed.
Yeah.
And so I think that she was playing up her physical appearance to appear to be mixed.
Yeah.
But I've never heard her say that's what she identifies as.
Yeah.
So I imagine that she will defend her physical appearance as just the way that she liked to look.
Yeah, I think that's...
Because you know who was more blackface than her? That tanning mom. She was offensive AF.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
It's context, though.
It is very much context.
So, One final question.
Just to
No, yeah.
say it's not like how dark you make your skin or the way that you do your hair. It's, are you tricking people into thinking that you're something that you're not? Absolutely. Are you actively lying about it?
Context.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. No.
What's your one last thing?
Are you also Batman? No. I don't know.
I'm excited, though. I want to know what she has to say.
I will absolutely watch it. I'm glad we had this discussion, and I'm glad we kept it light at times because it's important. Right. But I'm also glad we talked real about it. You know, it's something that you don't really experience every day.
Right. And let us know in the comments if you are offended by Rachel. Please, by all means, explain that. And that's not like me demanding an answer.
No, let us know. Yeah, where's your head at?
Yeah, if you're offended, let us know. If you think she's funny, if you think she's crazy, if you think that this is, a lot of hullabaloo about whatever, let us know whatever your thoughts are, where you lie on the spectrum. If you care or don't care.
If we missed any funny tweets or memes, write them in the comments.
Because I think for a lot of us that are just sort of grappling to make sense of what's going on, the best thing that we can do is just kind of have a good laugh and then remember that at least while some of her lies and deceit were, I don't think they were malicious in nature, they did hurt people, I think.
Absolutely. And
that we don't need to completely vilify someone who wasn't actively doing really, really awful things. Yeah. She was doing good things. She was trying to be a good person, with the exception, in my opinion, of the mailing herself hate crime things and, lying about her family. Yeah. I don't think that she's the worst person in the world. And, I think as a culture and a society, we can figure out what sense to make of this when we hear what she has to say for herself tomorrow.
Yeah. I think you were really well spoken on this podcast.
Oh, thanks.
Also, let us know your predictions for the interview. What do you think's going to happen? Seriously, what do you think's going to happen? It could go so many ways.
It could go so many ways.
Thank you guys for hanging out for this episode of the Jenna Julien Podcast. And make sure you go, click the link in our description or just go to naturebox.com/Jenna Julien. Get yourself a free trial.
Snacks. I mean, you could have been eating snacks this whole podcast.
You know what? If you get a free trial right now, by next week, you can watch our podcast and just munch the entire time. And then when you're done munching, you're like, you know what? I wasn't eating potato chips. I'm okay.
Team munch.
I'm okay.
Team munch.
Team munch.
Team Finn.
Team... Oh, Team Finn, Team Stabler, always. Love you guys. We'll see you guys next week on the Jenna and Julien and Stabler podcast.
Team Casey Novak keeps losing slam dunk cases. All right, guys. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.